A little bit of everything. So I think I was saying earlier that when you start in with a company or in any position that you have, the people that you're working with and the people that you're working for are looking at you to find out how you think, how you work, what your interests are, what your energy and drive is all about. And you will get exposure to a lot of other people and their jobs. And you'll start thinking about, oh, I might like to do that. It sounds more interesting than what I'm doing now. And so you might talk to your manager, or you might talk to your peers about what that other job is like, and start kind of moving things along towards maybe switching from the assignment that you have into another assignment in a different area. It's usually people getting to know you and agreeing that you have the capabilities to do some new and different things. And you deciding that I'd like to do some new and different things, and just talking to the people around you. Because I've worked for large companies, and as Brian said, there are often very disciplined processes about meeting with employees, talking about developmental plans, and what kinds of things do you need to work on to be able to move forward in your developmental plan. And so it's all of the above.
It's really all over the place. For me, it's just been how things kind of transpired and happened. I'll give you an example. So I took the first job in South Carolina. I moved from Pennsylvania down to South Carolina. I was there for 4 years. I thought it was great. Loved it. Great job. I was in a rotational program, so they said I had to move. But despite the advertisement that it was going to be what I wanted to do, no, it was what they needed people to do. So then I was forced to go to a site that I didn't want to go to down in Houston, Texas. But I went in with an open mind, just to see, it could be interesting. Well, I ended up hating it. So now I got a decision to make. My daughter's 2 years old. What do we do now? What's next? We decided to move back to Pennsylvania to get back closer to family. So I resigned with Rhodia, and then I started working for Lonza in R&D. Loved it. It was great. And then all of a sudden, Lonza bought another company, and then there was all this restructuring and confusion, and they stripped a lot of R&D's responsibilities away, and part of that was the pilot plant that we used to run stuff in all the time never operated. So then they had me living in Rochester working at that plant. I got tired of that. So then I switched roles again and started working permanently as a project engineer in the Williamsport plant. And then they came to me a couple months ago and they said, hey, we're going to create another position for reliability engineer. We'd like you to do it. And I said, that sounds great. And then that's what I'll do now. So it's what life brings you. It's what happens in companies sometimes, things you don't like. Or if it could potentially be your own decision. But it's going to be all over the place. It's really what life kind of lays in front of you a lot of times.
Prepare yourself if you have a particular area that you want to go into. Like I was always interested in environmental issues. So I got an undergraduate degree in biology as well as one in chemical engineering before I got my master's. And they never really reflected that extra bachelor degree in biology in my salary when I first started working. But when they first started creating these wastewater treatment plants in response to the chemical or the Clean Water Act requirements, nobody knew how to run them. So they created a new group to decide how to run wastewater treatment plants. They were looking for somebody that had chemical engineering and biology experience. And I was the only candidate.
And you got a raise.
And I did. And that was my first job in the environmental area. And I kept going in and out of the environmental area throughout my career, eventually into the health area as well at the end of my career, working with the UN and eliminating leaded gasoline around the world, working most recently to get the Toxic Substance Control Act passed by Congress, which was passed last year, in bipartisan manner, which is amazing. So, I mean, it's all in what you want to do, but it really helps to be able to differentiate yourself in some way.
Younger individuals' perspective, try and get as much exposure as you can. Don't do internship after internship or co-op after co-op in the same job role, try and mix it around. I worked for Clarity, who I work for now, in a similar role as an intern. Then I moved to Dow, working in production, so day-to-day operations of a plant. And then they said, okay, you can continue doing this role or you can do something else. And I chose to do something else just to get some more exposure. And I worked on more of like capital projects or project-based work, reliability-based things. And that really showed me I don't enjoy the day-to-day as much. I like having a project and I have a target goal, as opposed to day-to-day, solving problems as they come up and kind of running the plant regularly. So as a young individual, try to get as much exposure as you can. That way you can kind of gauge what will be the better job coming out of school for you. Not necessarily the best job, but what is best geared towards you.